Ladies and gentlemen, Cowboys Nation, gather round, because if you're anything like me, your heart's been pounding a little extra these past few weeks. Picture this, it's 1978, the Dallas Cowboys are America's team, fresh off a Super Bowl win, with Roger Staubach slinging passes like lasers and Tony Dorsett dancing through defenses. Fast forward nearly 5 decades, and here we are in 2025, still chasing that glory under the bright lights of AT&T Stadium. But right now, at 3-4-1, our boys in blue and silver are teetering on the edge of contention. The question isn't just, can they make the playoffs? It's, will Jerry Jones pull off a deadline masterstroke to save the season? Stick with me, because today, we're breaking down why the Cowboys absolutely must land one of these 4 defensive gems before the clock strikes midnight on November 4th. This is your wake-up call, Dallas. Let's turn this ship around. Alright, let's cut to the chase on the main story shaking up the NFC East. The Cowboys are still mathematically alive, folks. 3 wins, 4 losses, and that quirky tie against the Giants that had us all yelling at our screens. But let's be real, this defense? It's leaking like a sieve. Entering Week 9, they're dead last in the league against the run, coughing up over 150 yards per game on the ground, and their pass defense ranks a woeful 28th, giving up more aerial bombs than a 4th of July fireworks show. Add in the injury bug biting hard in the secondary. Think Trayvon Diggs nursing a hamstring tweak and Darren Bland sidelined with a knee issue, and you've got a backfield that's more Swiss cheese than shutdown crew. Head coach Mike McCarthy's high-octane offense, led by Dak Prescott's cannon arm and CeeDee Lamb's highlight reel routes, can only carry so much. Prescott's thrown for 2,100 yards already, but when the D can't get off the field, it's like asking a Ferrari to win a demolition derby. That's why whispers from the star in Frisco are louder than ever. The Cowboys are gearing up to be buyers at the trade deadline. Jerry Jones, that wheeler-dealer extraordinaire, isn't one to sit idle. He's got a history of bold swings. Remember that 2018 grab of Amari Cooper that lit a fire under the playoff push? If they're serious about crashing the NFC East party and spoiling the Eagles' parade, oh, those rivalry games in Philly still give me chills. This deadline could be the pivot point. Now, let's dive deep into the analysis, because this isn't just about slapping a Band-Aid on the problem. It's about surgical precision to rebuild a defense that echoes the glory days of the 90s Doomsday Defense, when Charles Haley and Ken Norton Jr. terrorized quarterbacks. First up, DeMario Davis, the 36-year-old linebacker warhorse from the sinking ship that is the 1-7 New Orleans Saints. Davis isn't some long-term cornerstone. He's a rental, a grizzled vet who's still out there stacking tackles like cordwood, leading the Saints with 65 stops and a forced fumble that had Saints fans groaning in despair. At 6 feet 2 inches, 240 pounds, he's the kind of sideline-to-sideline thumper who plugs run lanes and drops back into coverage without missing a beat. Imagine him pairing with Micah Parsons, that supernova edge rusher who's already got 7.5 sacks this year despite a nagging ankle. Parsons, the former Penn State phenom and 2021 Defensive Rookie of the Year, thrives on chaos, but he needs a smart run stopper like Davis to free him up. Tactically, this shores up the middle, forcing offenses to bounce outside where Parsons feasts. The cost? A late-round pick, maybe a 7th rounder in 2026. Saints GM Mickey Loomis might bite just a stockpile for the rebuild. Dallas, pounce. Shifting gears to the secondary, where things get electric. Riq Woolen, the Seattle Seahawks cornerback who's got that shutdown pedigree but feels like a square peg in Mike Macdonald's zone-heavy scheme. Woolen, a 2022 5th-round steal out of Toledo, has balled out with 44 pass breakups and 11 picks over his career. Numbers that scream Pro Bowl potential. At 6 feet 4 inches with 33-inch arms, he's a unicorn who can mirror giants like A.J. Brown in those brutal Eagles matchups. Seattle's hovering at 4-4 in the NFC West, not quite sellers but open to the right offer. A 3rd rounder could pry him loose, especially with rumors swirling that McDonald prefers shorter, twitchier DBs. For the Cowboys, Woolen slots right into Dan Quinn's man-press looks. Remember Quinn's Falcons days, shutting down Tom Brady in Super Bowl 51? This kid could be the heir to the throne of legends like Deion Sanders, who once picked off 5 passes in a single season for Dallas back in '94. Plug him opposite Bland when he returns, and suddenly, that secondary isn't a liability, it's a launch pad for turnovers. But hold on, because if we're talking pass rush juice, no one's hotter than Jaelan Phillips from the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins, sitting pretty at 2-5-1 and staring down a potential teardown after Tua Tagovailoa's latest concussion woes, might finally cash in on their 2021 first-rounder. Phillips, that wiry 6 feet 5 inches edge from Miami Hurricanes fame, has flashed all-pro upside with 16.5 sacks in his first 2 healthy seasons. Guy's got a motor that doesn't quit and a spin move that leaves tackles grasping at air. Sure, injuries have nagged him, missing 9 games last year with a back issue, but at 26, the upside screams calculated gamble. Dallas's front 4, anchored by Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, who's quietly notched 4 sacks, needs that second alpha to two-head the rush. Stats-wise, the Cowboys rank 22nd in sacks per game at 1.8. Add Phillips, and you're talking top 10 terror, forcing Jalen Hurts into those panic heaves we love to exploit. Cost: affordable, maybe a 4th and a swap. Dolphins need picks to rebuild around Jevon Holland or Oluwaseun Fashanu. And saving the splashiest for last, Minkah Fitzpatrick, the Miami safety who's the crown jewel of this wishlist. At 28, this former Alabama Crimson Tide star and 2018 first-rounder is the total package, 3-time All-Pro, with 15 career interceptions, including that iconic 2020 pick-6 off Deshaun Watson that sealed a Steelers win. Fitzpatrick's range is absurd. He covers ground like a cheetah in cleats, erasing deep threats and stuffing runs with 45 solo tackles this season alone. The Cowboys' safety spot? It's been a revolving door since Jaelan Phillips bolted. Malik Collins and Wanya Thomas are scrappy, but injuries have exposed the depth chart like a bad bluff in poker. This move would cost a king's ransom, a second-rounder, maybe a third tossed in, but the impact? Monumental. Pair him with Parsons, and you've got a back 7 that dictates games, turning AT&T into a no-fly zone. Tactically, McCarthy could finally unleash more aggressive coverages, trusting Fitzpatrick to clean up the messes. It's the kind of blockbuster that echoes Jerry's 2019 trade-up for Parsons. Bold, brash, and potentially brilliant. To put this in historical context, let's rewind the tape on Dallas defenses that mattered.